Welcome everyone to today's teaching webinar on self-image and how self-image controls and dictates the results in your life. I absolutely love sharing this topic with people. Hello everyone, I'm Karen Brook and I'm so grateful and so thankful that you have invested the next 60 minutes of your day towards thinking about your own self-image and the kind of results that you really want to achieve in your life. So welcome to today's webinar. Now, there are a few things that I'm really going to touch on today, and this is the most important one: how self-image controls the results in your life and what you can do and what you must know to change those results. Isn't that great? If we know how to get better results and we know how our self-image is formed, well, you will get the keys to the kingdom as to know what I need to do to change the results in my life. This is a very, very powerful lesson, and I'm so grateful that you've tuned in to have your mind expanded on this topic. So there's a few things today that I am definitely going to go through with you. So no doubt you've come here for some particular reason. Either you want some more information about your self-image, you want some more information around how your results are created, maybe you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you're gathering information about what's out there and how people can help you. So I'm certainly going to cover off all of those things over the next 60 minutes or so. So I'm definitely going to show you how to get more done in less time with less effort by shifting your self-image paradigm. So a lot of people, experience time differently. Some of us get a lot done in a day, some of us don't get much done. But actually all of that comes back to your self-image. So I'm going to talk about that today. I'm also going to talk about how the cybernetic mechanism of your mind controls your results and how you can reprogram it. That's right. You have a cybernetic mechanism, which is a control mechanism that dictates what you're going to get. It's as accurate as the GPS on a plane that takes you from A to B. So just imagine for a second when you really start to understand how you can control your own cybernetic mechanism to guarantee the kind of results that you're going to get in life. This is very powerful, and I'm so excited that you're here to learn about it today. How to drive productivity, performance, and profit. Now, this is really important. Your productivity, what you do on a day-to-day basis, and how much money you earn is dictated by your self-image paradigm. And I'm going to show you how you can go further with what you learned today. I don't want to just leave you with lots of great information. I want you to actually do something with it. And isn't that what we all want? We don't just want to learn information. We don't just want to be motivated and inspired. We really want to get results, and get results that stick. So let's get into it today. How does that sound? I want to take a little bit of time here and introduce myself. Some of you know me very, very well. And so for some of you, maybe you've seen me on social media or you've been referred to this webinar by somebody else. I'm a very happy, very healthy, and very wealthy woman. And now this is not by luck or chance. I made a definite decision that that's how I wanted to live, and I took action and followed it through. Now, I have a very, interesting background. I actually ran my own branding and marketing company for about 8 years until I started to really get interested in what makes people tick and why I was the way I was. I've always been, relatively successful, nowhere near proportionate to where I will go, but, always kind of had a great attitude and got in there and made it happen, and ran my own business from a very young age, but certainly plateaued in my own career at around about 27, 28. And I was left wondering, there's got to be more than this. I started to not be as fulfilled with my job and the business that I had. I probably was outwardly pretty happy, but maybe not 100% happy really on the inside in my bones, you know. We want to feel that happiness in our bones. And I certainly had achieved a certain level of financial success, but didn't really consider myself wealthy or rich in the full spirit of what that word means. Richness in life, in abundance, in health, in happiness, in friendship. So there were certainly parts of my life that were going pretty well, but there were certainly some other parts of it that I really wondered why it was that no matter how hard I tried or how much I went and studied and read more books, and just like all of you on the line here today, how I still found myself only getting marginally better results. And you know, that just wasn't going to cut it for me any longer. I really wanted to know why. And that led me to start studying and working with this amazing man that you can see on your screen right now, Mr. Bob Proctor. Now, I came across Bob doing an abundance meditation of his, and I was about 14 days into that. And I thought, oh my goodness, of everything that I've ever studied, this man knows something that not a lot of other people know. And that led me to get on a plane a couple of weeks later, fly to Toronto, and spend a week. I invested over $20,000 to put myself on a plane and go to Toronto and work with Bob for a week. Now, my family thought I was crazy. They were like, what are you doing, Karen? Don't you know that's a deposit on a house? But I really felt in my gut that he would be able to share with me why I wasn't quite getting the results that I wanted in my life. And my goodness, hasn't he been able to do that? And I'm very fortunate now to be a part of his company and to actually be very, very high up in his company, leading and facilitating a program called Thinking into Results. And Thinking into Results is designed to shift the paradigms at a subconscious level that control your results. And as part of that paradigm is actually your self-image paradigm. Now, when I started to discover this and realize, whoa, there was this massive light bulb that went off in my mind, and I was like, oh my goodness, now I know why I was getting the sort of results that I was getting and what I needed to do with an exact mathematical formula if I wanted to change and improve the results in my life. So I'm so excited to be able to share what Bob has taught me on self-image with you today. But you know what? Before anything can really change, we've got to make a decision. You'll notice that I said there before, my happiness, my health, my wealth, my beautiful relationships, living an abundant, rich life didn't happen by luck or chance. I didn't sit back waiting for it to happen to me, that all of a sudden, you know, the universe would pick me and say, righto, Karen, it's your turn. No, I actually made a definite decision. I said, I want to make my dreams, my goals a reality, and I've had enough trying to work it out. I'm happy for someone to show me, and Bob knows what he's talking about. So I made a definite decision that I was going to change the course of my life and really start to get the results that I wanted. And I want you to make that decision for yourself today. To draw a line in the sand on any past circumstances, any past results that you might have experienced, and allow yourself to really open up and open your mind and your body up to the concepts that we are going to explore today, because they really have the potential to dramatically change the course of your life forever. But that will not happen unless you make a decision. Now, what happens when we go to make a decision? We get all sorts of objections that come up straight away. That little voice in our head starts to speak to me. Now, I know straight away, because I know myself and I know what happens to me when I go to make a decision, that some of this will be happening for you right now at the prospect of acting on the information I'm about to share with you today, that little voice inside your head, that old paradigm, the old self-image paradigm, will start talking. And maybe you're even catching yourself say this, but I'm not like you, Karen. You don't know my story. That's very true. I don't know your story, but I know me. And I know that you and I are actually exactly the same. Now, I might operate with a different level of conscious awareness with respect to how I can run my business, live my life, or earn money. But you and I have exactly the same mental faculties. We're both spiritual beings gifted with an intellect living in a physical body. All that is missing, or all that is different levels of conscious awareness. And you can expand your awareness with study and time and the help of other people to show you how you can do certain things that you really want to do. Now, you might be saying this, well, geez, I wonder what she's going to tell me today. I don't really have any spare time. How will I ever change my habits? I can't even imagine it. Maybe you're a busy mum of 4 and you're cruising around looking after your kids, or you got a, company of people that you manage, and you're thinking, geez, Karen, I'm already flat out. There's no way I could fit anything else into my day. So you might be thinking, I'm not going to be able to do this. Well, I want you to really ask yourself at the moment, is that if you could dramatically improve the results in your life and start to get exactly what you want, what would that be worth to you on a day-to-day basis? Would it be worth 20 minutes? 20 minutes of thought and energy towards this? Would it be worth 1 hour to you? And what's it costing you if you do nothing? If nothing changes, nothing changes. So you probably can't afford not to implement the things that I'm going to share with you today, because actually you're keeping yourself in a certain paradigm, group habit, that is producing results that you might not really like. Now, what about this one? This is the classic objection that I get all the time. Well, I can't really afford it right now, or it's not the right time for me. What's it costing you to not take action on this? If you could multiply your income, if you could start to have an extra 3 hours in your day that you didn't have before, if you finally were able to release that weight, remember, all of this comes back to shifting your self-image. What would that be worth to you? That's the investment that we're talking about here. This is an investment in you. How dare you say to yourself that I'm not worth that? You are worth it. And maybe you've not invested in yourself in a long time, but I'm telling you that when you invest in you, that is a massive return on investment. That is the best investment you will ever make in your entire life. So once you make the decision that something's going to change, you always find the money. So think about all the things in your house right now that you bought. Look around your lounge room, wherever you are, and you probably bought them because you really wanted them, not necessarily because you needed them. So remember that. We always find the money for things that we really want. And this one, I'll have to check with my partner before I make any decisions. This is your life, though. This is your self-image. This is yours to own. So if you make a decision that you want to be more, do more, have more, or give more for you, your spirit's fuller expression, that's your decision to own. And ask yourself this question: if you were happier, if you were healthier, if you were multiplying your income, if you were bringing more of yourself to the surface every day, if you were having better relationships, do you think your partner would support you in that? I bet the answer is yes. So back yourself with whatever your decision is today. Really back it and really feel it in your bones. It is a very powerful self-image that'll enable you to do that. Now, you might not have that powerful self-image at the moment, but remember at the beginning when I said, how did I change the circumstances in my life? I made a definite decision and I backed it with action, even though I was a little bit scared. Remember, I got on a flight and spent 20,000 US to fly to Canada for a week to spend it with Bob, who I'd never met. My family thought I was totally crazy, but it changed my whole life. So that is what this is about. Now I want to start to talk to you about a couple of stories of shifting self-image and what can happen when you shift your self-image. So I want to share with you now a little bit more of my story with this, and also the story of Sandy Gallagher. Now, some of you might know of Sandy Gallagher, or you've heard her speak, or she's actually the co-creator of Thinking into Results, the program that I facilitate. And she's got quite a magnificent story of shifting her self-image. So let's think, when we think about self-image, it's who we are, how we really feel about ourselves, what we feel like we can accomplish and create in the world. Now, Sandy was a top banking law attorney, and she graduated the top of her class across America and Great Britain. And in 2006, she sat in a seminar of Bob Proctor's in Vancouver, Washington, and she said in all of her years of education, she had never heard what Bob Proctor was teaching. And she made a decision then and there, and she wrote on her goal card in teeny tiny print that she wanted to be in the inner circle of Bob Proctor's company, and she wanted to design a program with him to take into the Fortune 500 companies around the world. Now, Bob Proctor didn't even know who she was at that point. She'd been a lawyer her whole life. You know, that was all she ever aspired to be. It was all that she just wanted to make her dad proud. Her dad was a lawyer. And there she was in 2006 thinking about doing something different. Now, that's a self-image shift. If any of you have ever thought about doing something different, writing a book, getting a different job, changing careers, that's a self-image paradigm shift that we have to go through. We might be very successful in one area of our life, but we may not see ourselves as being capable of the same level of success in a different industry. Now, Sandy really had to shift her self-image paradigm and see herself as a leader in the personal and professional development field, to go from the boardrooms as a lawyer to the boardrooms as someone in professional development, someone that could really help teams and corporations shift the programming that was controlling their results. And she did that. She went on to write Thinking into Results with Bob Proctor, all while still running her law practice with her dad. And then eventually one day, Bob gave her an ultimatum and said, are you in or are you out? And she had to make a decision about whether she was going to really back herself in her new career, leading the global development of Thinking into Results. And now she is in business with Bob, the Proctor Gallagher Institute. And we're doing some phenomenal work around the world around paradigm shifts. Phenomenal. Such a great company. But she had to shift her self-image paradigm and really see herself as someone that could lead and be very successful and purposeful in a completely different industry. And that meant that she had to upgrade the programming in her subconscious mind. Now, if I think about my own self-image shift, so I have been an entrepreneur my whole life. At 18, I started my first business, which was a photography business, actually. I actually wanted to study medicine, but just missed out on that and ended up really seeing a gap in the market and decided that I wanted to get into photography and ultimately go and study branding and advertising and start a company that would support regional businesses across Australia with their branding and marketing outcomes. And I did just that. But I spent 8 years growing, running, developing that company. I was closing, $100,000 branding projects. And yet when I decided to move into the personal and professional development field and study organizational analysis and neuroscience and unconscious processes in organizations, my self-image was not in harmony with someone that could be a leader in that area, let alone a global leader of a program like Thinking into Results. There was no data there. There was no programming there. I saw myself as very effective and very good at what I did in a branding and marketing sense, but not really being someone that could be successful in helping people transform, helping companies transform. I wanted to be. I had the intellectual ability. I had all the knowledge. I was taught how to do it. I'd studied some phenomenal programs, but I didn't have the self-image there. So this is what started to play out. You know, I could close a $30,000, $60,000 branding project, no worries. But when it came to selling a $3,000 program, it was like all hell was breaking loose. But I started to work on that and eventually got to the point where I really felt it in my bones that, yes, I could help people. And companies and individuals were paying me $15,000, $20,000 to come into their businesses and work with them. They would come and live with me in luxury houses at Noosa, and we would work on their businesses for a week. And you can see my self-image started to transform. But there was still certainly a level that I had plateaued at. But as I've continued to shift my self-image paradigm, I'm now the director and leader of $1 million company. No, that didn't happen by accident. That happened by understanding how to shift my self-image paradigm, that part of our subconscious programming that controls our results. Now, Bob Proctor showed me how to do that. The material that I'm about to share with you now really is the cornerstone of getting everything that you want. And we've really got to understand that paradigms control our results. And we've got to understand where our results are. So I want you to start to think about this. You've got a notepad and pen there with you now. I want you to start to think about the results in your life. And have a think about how much money you earned in the last 12 months, or over the last, let's say, financial year. I'm going to give you 3 things to think about today. And the first one is to think about how much money you made in the last 12 months. I want you to look at that figure. Look at the figure that you're writing down right now. Has everyone got a figure that they've written down? And I want to ask you, does that number that you've written down really allow you to live how you want to live? Does it really allow you to live how you want to live? Yes or no? Type in yes or no in the question box. I want to get your feedback on this. So type in yes or no in the question box. Does the figure that you wrote down really allow you to live how you really want to live? Okay, we've got lots of no's coming in. That's okay. I want you to multiply that figure by 3. So just for the sake of the exercise, multiply that figure by 3. Take a calculator or your iPhone if you've got it next to you, and take the amount of money that you earned last year and multiply it by 3. And ask yourself, does that figure allow you to live how you really want to live? The answer still may be no. It's highly likely that the answer is still no. Take that figure and multiply it by 3. Take that figure and multiply it by 3. Now, chances are you're starting to move into the area of fantasy. Can all of you start to picture a pretty big, beautiful goal? When you think about that, you can think, oh my God, I could actually fly business class, or I could buy that dream house, or we could give the kids that college fund that we'd always dreamt of. Pretty cool, hey? We've really got to stretch ourselves to think about what we really want. And mark my word on this one, if there is one thing that Bob Proctor has taught me, is that you raise your level of income to meet your lifestyle. You do not suppress how you want to live to meet your income. We always want spirit to be for fuller expression and expansion, to bring more of our true potential to the surface. And the activity with money is one to just get you thinking about what is possible for your life. That figure that you wrote down right at the end is possible for you. Isn't that exciting? I love that exercise because it just really allows us to open our mind up, to get out of the day-to-day and to really see where our imagination can take us. Now look here, there are only 2 things you need to know to really shift your self-image paradigm. Two things. You need to know where you are at now, and you need to know where you want to go. So where do you want to go? Where do you really want to be? How do you really want to live? How do you really want to spend your days? Who do you really want to surround yourself with? You know, one of the things that Bob and Sandy found out, and one of the things that I've also realized with working with over 100 people in Australia, I think we're up to over about 160 now, is that most people don't want to be just really wealthy. Actually, money is not the motivator for a lot of people. But what people do want is to spend their days doing what they really love to do. They want to surround themselves with people who are creative, upbeat, and enthusiastic. And they want to be able to travel and do the things that they want to do with whom they want, when they want. Now, that's not a lot to ask from life, really. But we want to make sure that we're putting ourselves in a position where we're creating the mindset and the self-image of the person that can live like that. If we have a poor self-image, our results are going to be poor. If we have a strong, confident, powerful self-image that embodies the kind of results that we want in our life, then we are going to create that in our physical reality. Now, this is pretty simple and it's pretty obvious. You would say, well, of course, it's that whole actor's technique, isn't it, Karen? Fake it till you make it. Act like the person that you want to become. Well, that certainly is the outward physical side of it, but there is also something else at play here that we really want to come to understand, and it's the reason why so many people get stuck with this. It's the reason why I was stuck. You know, my results were not necessarily bad, but I was nowhere near living how I really wanted to live. It's the reason why Sandy Gallagher found her stuck, just doing the same thing for 45 years until she made a decision that, what do I really want? And you know, that's a question that Sandy asks me all the time. She says, but Karen, what do you really want? Juliet, what do you really want? Sarah, what do you really want? What do you really want? And know that the gap that exists between where you want to go and where you are now, it exists because of paradigms. Now, paradigms is probably one of the most important words in the English language. If you don't have a solid grasp on what a paradigm is, how to change a paradigm, how it's formed, how to create a better self-image paradigm, that is okay. It is totally okay, because you know what? So few people do, and that's what I love about my job, in being able to help people understand this and practically apply it to their results and their life. So let's have a look at this. What is a paradigm? Paradigm is a mental program that has almost exclusive control over your habitual behavior, and almost all of your behavior is habitual. Think about it. When you get up in the morning, there is a routine that you move into. You don't have to think about it. It's just automatic. There's certain things that you do or don't do on a day-to-day basis. If you live with somebody, you'd be able to make a written description of their routine, and if you're smart, you won't screw around with it. People love routine. Oh my goodness. But you know what? That routine can lead you right through life and nothing can change. So we really want to spend a respectable amount of time understanding paradigms and understanding our self-image paradigm. Now, your self-image paradigm is made up of a number of different things, a number of different habits that all come together that keep you operating a certain way. And Bob Proctor teaches the paradigm shift better than anyone else that I know. I've never come across information like this before. And if you speak to anyone who studied with me, maybe you know some people that have studied with me, they'll all agree that it's very, very comprehensive how we approach the paradigm shift. You know, Bob was 26. I want to tell you a bit about his story. He's such a remarkable man. I just got back from a week in Toronto with him a couple of weeks ago. And, you know, at 26, he was really down and out. He really was not a smart guy. He didn't finish school. He got kicked out of the fire department in Toronto. He really wasn't making it happen. And a man sat down with him and gave him this book, Think and Grow Rich. and asked him if he'd be committed to studying it every single day. And he did that. And when he committed to studying that book, his paradigms began to change. But you know what? He then started to buy the book for everybody else. And nothing happened. No one else's results changed. And he began to wonder what had happened to him. And he recognized that he was disciplined. He was really disciplined. He studied, he gave himself a command, and he followed through. He did the inner work, but he also took action. Now, so much of what I've already touched on today and will tell you over the next 15 minutes or so, you've probably heard of before. You might have read about it in books, but that doesn't mean that we're going to really apply it and live what we're learning. And that's what this is really about. With discipline, anyone can begin to create a new paradigm starting from today. So let's have a look at this. And how do we start to change our paradigms? Let's make one thing clear before we move forward, that we've got to have a picture of somewhere we want to end up. In the absence of clearly defined goals, we become strangely loyal to performing daily trivia until we ultimately become enslaved by it. Don't you love that quote? I love that quote because it's so powerful. If we don't know where we want to end up, how can we ever expect to get anywhere other than where we are today? So goals are really important in our life, and do not let anybody try and convince you otherwise. And I'm not talking about smart goals. I couldn't care less about smart goals. I don't want anything rational or logical to come across my desk. I want fantasy goals. I want goals that are going to bounce me out of bed in the morning, that are going to invigorate my mind and body. That's what we're talking about here, is creating a picture in our mind of how we really want to live. Because you know what? Any goal that you have for yourself is actually a self-image goal. As far as the mind is concerned, your goals are a self-image goal. You see yourself expanded from where you currently are. That's a really important point to look at. The way your mind is going to organize goals is around a self-image. So let's really look at that. Now, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure that you seek. The idea of moving forward and discovering what you really want may right now be setting the terror barrier off in your mind. So the terror barrier is that wall, the cave of fear that we hit when we think about doing something irrational, doing something illogical, taking action and moving on something that we want. If we're doing something that's not in harmony with our self-image paradigm, remember, our self-image paradigm is conditioning us to live a certain way, to operate a certain way. So we've got to push past that. The thing that you fear to do, the idea that you fear to explore, the goal that you fear to set actually holds the treasure that a part of you is desperately seeking. That is such a powerful quote. So I want you to dream bold dreams, and then I want you to live them. Now, that might sound like a fantasy to you at the moment, and I can appreciate that. But I can guarantee that if you take and act on the information that I'm sharing with you today, you will dream bold dreams and you will live them. They are guaranteed to become a reality in your life. Surround yourself with the dreamers and the doers, the believers and the thinkers. But most of all, surround yourself with those who see greatness within you, even when you don't see it yourself. That is one of the things that I love so much about the community that we've created with the material that I teach, is we've got a group of like-minded people, all pushing forward to grow more, to be of more service, to do more, to create more, to lift each other up in a true spirit of co-creation, of bringing the very best to the surface on a daily basis. You get to mastermind with other people whose sole purpose is to help you. I mean, how long has it been since you've had a group of people whose sole purpose is to spend an amount of time just working on your goal with you and for you? I mean, that is just a phenomenal environment to be in. You just feel good all the time. And we have created that here in Australia and around the world with our Thinking into Results community. And I really invite you to be a part of that. So let's look at the mind and paradigms and how these two parts really come together to shape and form our self-image. Now, remember I said a paradigm is a mental program, and it's actually a number of habits that have come together. Now, look at this. In 1934, there was a man named Dr. Thurman Fleet who was actually a chiropractor, and he was very involved in the healing arts and holistic health, but he realized that we were treating symptoms and actually not the cause of the problem. And he said here, the mind is an activity, not a thing. Since no one has ever seen the mind, in order to gain clarity and eliminate confusion, I'm going to create an image that we can work with. Now, this image that I'm about to share with you, properly understood, will deliver you any result, any outcome that you really want. It is extremely powerful. And it was like a light bulb moment. The first time I saw this, it was like, you know how you go and study all of these things and you read all of these books and you've done all of these programs and training and personal and professional development, and you're holding all of the different pieces of the puzzle. But what's been missing your whole life was the lid to the box of the puzzles. And no one can put a puzzle together unless you've got the lid, because that's where the picture is. And the picture pulls the whole puzzle together. Well, that's what Thinking into Results does. It pulls the whole puzzle to you together so that you can get it done, so you can multiply your performance and really expand your self-image and your results in a really short amount of time. So let's look at this picture here that is starting to pull together the puzzle. He created this picture so that we have an image to work with in our mind, and we think in pictures. So when you think about your car, you see a picture. When you think about the front door of your house, you see the front door. When you think about your fridge, you see your fridge. Does it open to the left or the right? You go to your fridge and you're visualizing that. So our whole mind operates on pictures. So if we want to think about changing a part of our mind, we need a picture to work with. So he said, let the large circle represent the mind and let the small circle represent the body. Now, there's two key parts to the mind that we want to become aware of. You've got the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is the thinking mind, where you're really aware of your thoughts, and the subconscious is where your behavior comes from, and the subconscious controls the body. The subconscious is also where your self-image paradigm is locked in. So let's look at now self-image and cybernetics and see how cybernetics and paradigms come together. Cybernetics and paradigms are both control systems and operate essentially on the same principle. Both maintain a definite course of action and will not deviate from the course that has been established. You must alter the paradigm to achieve the results you desire. Both companies and individuals have paradigms. So cybernetics controls the temperature and the results in your life. So have a look at, let's understand what cybernetics is. Cybernetics is what we need to understand to get a permanent shift in our self-image and in our results. So the thermostat, or the air conditioner on your house, is a cybernetic instrument. So think about this, these are in Fahrenheit. I was doing this presentation in the States a couple of days ago. So think about this. If the temperature starts to drop, then the thermostat comes on. If you are in a plane, the cybernetic mechanism of a plane keeps the plane on course. So it course corrects, just like the thermostat in your house. So if you've got it set at 24 degrees and the house starts to heat up to 27, 28, the cybernetic mechanism in the thermostat kicks in and it brings the temperature back down to 24 degrees. The automatic pilot on a plane keeps the plane on course. So whatever's programmed, whatever destination is programmed into the GPS of the computer, it's going to fly to that destination. So have a look here. If a plane's flying from Chicago to Paris, it gets going, and it starts to get knocked off course. And it gets knocked off course, and then it comes back. The cybernetic mechanism in the mind, in the GPS of the plane, keeps it on course to Paris. So really think about that. The same thing is happening right now in your mind. You have a destination programmed in your mind, and that is a self-image destination. No matter how hard you try to improve the results in any area of your life, until you shift the self-image paradigm, that self-image goal, you'll get no permanent change in your results. So have a look here again. You've got the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the body. In your subconscious is your self-image. That's where your self-image is programmed. That is also what the cybernetic mechanism of your mind uses to keep you on course. So no matter what is programmed at a conscious level, no matter what you're thinking about at a conscious level, you're going to get the product of what's programmed at a subconscious level. So this is a pretty big concept to get your head around. This is why TIR, the program that I teach, is 6 months. Results don't happen overnight, but they do change very quickly when you understand how this cybernetic process works. So let's have a look here. And let's have a look at a person who, let's say, has a self-image and maybe they want to improve a part of their results. They would need to start working on their self-image paradigm and start to see themselves as a picture in their mind of the person they want to become. Remember, I said that we think in pictures. So we've got to have a picture of the person that we want to become. And let's say this person wants to release some weight. So they make a decision to go on a diet, to sign up to a healthy eating program or a fitness program. They make a decision to go on a diet. They might be overweight at the moment. You might have, might be a self-image paradigm where you see yourself as unfit, a little bit overweight, a little bit chubby. And so you make a decision to go on a diet and nothing happens for a little while, but then you release some weight. You have a bit of a win, you release some weight, but you know what? Because the self-image paradigm didn't shift, the cybernetic mechanism course corrects and it brings you straight back on course to your results, the same results. So that yo-yo effect, I put on some weight, I release some weight, I lose some weight, I put it back on. And we're in that pattern. You might keep it off for 6 months, but then you might put it back on. It's the cybernetic mechanism and the self-image on the inside in the subconscious that causes it to be that way. So without shifting also the inner self-image paradigm, no matter how hard we work on the outside, the self-image on the inside stays the same. Let's have a look at this in relation to children. I have a lot of people in my program that have kids and are always asking about how they can apply and use this with their children. So you might have your child has a self-image, and let's say their physical results are they're getting poor grades in school. So they see themselves as the student who's not doing that well at school. And you might, let's say, ground them or make them study more or discipline them and tell them that, Johnny, you've got to pull up your socks and study more, and I'm not going to let you go out this afternoon because you've got homework to do. And you know, and you pull them into line and the results get better for a little while. Have a look at that little green line. The results get better. The child, does some more study. They get all motivated and things happen and you feel good and you're like, oh, thank goodness, I'm making sure that he's gonna do well in school. But it doesn't stay that way. The cybernetic mechanism in the child's self-image just course corrects because they didn't shift their self-image paradigm. I mean, this material is probably the biggest gift that you can give to your children in helping them understand themselves as the stick person, as someone with a conscious mind, a subconscious mind, living in a physical body, and how their mind works and their self-image. And as you start to work on their self-image paradigm and seeing themselves as enjoying study and getting good grades and being that sort of person and working at the subconscious level with them, the results start to change, but now they stay on an upward trajectory and they stay there. And you're empowering that child to really be the master and creator of the results in their life. So let's look at this in relation to you. You have an idea at the moment, a conscious idea of how you see yourself. But there is an inner self-image paradigm that also needs to shift. So we've got to start to create a picture of what that inner self-image paradigm looks like. Who is it that we really want to become? And make a decision that that's what we're going to bring to the surface, knowing that for a permanent shift in our results, we've got to shift this paradigm. Now, there's 3 things I want you to write down when you think about tips or takeaways from this lesson here, this section on cybernetics. The first thing is to build a big, beautiful image of the sort of self-image that you want to have, the sort of results that you want in your life, and see yourself as that person. So that means the second thing is you need to affirm it daily. Read it out loud, see yourself, stand in the mirror, and really see yourself as the person with that self-image achieving those sort of results. And you've got to take action daily and be disciplined about taking action daily, because I'm telling you, the cybernetic mechanism is tough. It is very hardwired, and it takes a lot of persistence and a lot of discipline to course correct. But now you're course correcting to a destination of where you really want to go. So really think about the image that you're holding of yourself at the moment and what you want that image to look like after a period from now. So 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 12 months from now. Where do you really want to be? Because to be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm. It's the cornerstone of everything, and at the heart of any paradigm shift is a shift in our self-image. I love this quote by Steve Jobs. For the past 33 years, I've looked in the mirror, and every morning I have asked myself, if today was the last day of my life, would I want to do what I'm about to go and do today? And if the answer has been no for too many days in a row, I know I need to change something. Working on your self-image and understanding how your marvelous mind really controls the temperature and the results in your life is the biggest gift you can give to yourself. It'll not only benefit you, it'll benefit your relationships, your children, your clients, your staff, everything in your life. So the more that you have, the more you can give to other people. And as you are developing and expanding your self-image, everything in the world changes too. But we never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, we build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. So this is really about doing a system upgrade. We've got to think about your self-image paradigm as an old computer program that's no longer giving you the results that you want. It's a bit clunky, it doesn't output correctly, the results are a little off. Sometimes I earn a lot, sometimes I don't. Sometimes my relationships are good, sometimes they're not. I never have enough time in my day. I wish I had more time in my day. What can I do to change it? So what happens next? I know that question is on the tip of your tongue. She's like, where are you going to take me next, Karen Brook? Well, nothing has to change. Nothing has to change. If you do nothing, nothing will change. That's the idea here, is that you can leave this webinar today and do absolutely nothing with the information that you've heard, and you can say, all right, I'm just going to try and put it into action myself. Or you can make a decision today and act on that decision, and everything in your life can change. And I mean everything. And just here's some examples. You could multiply your income. You could get a better job. You could finally permanently release that excess weight, or do that marathon that you've always wanted to do, and really feel fit and healthy permanently. You might want to save your marriage. You could laugh at that, but it's true. I've had a lot of people that have done this just to improve the marriage and improve their sex life. And it works. When you've got a healthy self-image, I'm telling it, you're going to be rocking it in the bedroom again. And you might want to create your dream business. You might have your dream business, but you don't have any balance. You might have a lot of things happening, but actually what you want is to achieve some personal goals. And regardless of what that is, it all comes back to your self-image. Shifting your self-image paradigm is absolutely the cornerstone to getting everything you've ever dreamed of, and that is what I want to invite you to do. Thinking into Results is a program that is designed to help you change paradigms. So this is what I want to offer you today as an opportunity. This is a huge opportunity. Really listening clearly here. Look at this. This is from Emma Eckerman. Now, she was such a phenomenal person to work with. She really embraced the whole experience of this and totally transformed not only their engineering business, her personal life, her relationship with her children. She said, Karen, I feel like I have 5 more hours in the day. She said, we have achieved more in 6 months of Thinking into Results than we had in the past 8 years in our business. My personal growth and business development journey spans 20 years. And never has anything been more creative, practical, effective, and permanent than Thinking into Results. And I have to agree with her. When I've had clients investing $15,000, $20,000 to work with me, to work through shifting and expanding their business, and never has anything worked as profoundly and purposefully as this material. So this is the opportunity to come and join me and all of my wonderful clients around Australia who are embracing Thinking into Results as a foundation in their life. This is not a program that you sign up to do. I'm going to promise you that right now. This is something that you use as a foundation in your everyday life to help you improve everything else that you're doing, to help you improve the business, to help you improve the relationship with your kids and your grandkids, to help you improve your health and wellness, to help you improve your finances, to help you achieve any goal that you desire to have. And you are going to have Bob Proctor, who is widely considered the master thinker at 83 years of age, in your ear and on your screen daily, mentoring and coaching you to your fullest potential. There is so much included in that, as you can see, nearly $7,000 worth of program right there for you. We're also going to give you a hard copy of the participants guide. This is a beautiful hard copy guide that is like my Bible. It's in my bag every day. So we're going to give you a hard copy of that as well. There is a digital copy that you get with the program, but we're going to give that to you as well. You're going to have weekly facilitation webinars with me. So twice a week almost we meet online. They're recorded so we can work with anyone's schedule. And there's such great opportunities to get online with people, to co-create, to connect, and to help you stay in the mindset required for you to create that self-image paradigm. We've also got the open office hours. So once a week I'm online and we hang out. And you can pop in for 10 minutes or 5 minutes or stay for the whole hour and ask questions about the lesson. How does this relate to my life, Karen? How can I use this? We create such a supportive environment that just about Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you can be online with me if that's what you want to do. So we really got so much in here for you. We also have access to a dedicated mastermind group. So this is so powerful. This is a small group of people who, as I said earlier on in the call, whose sole purpose is to be there for you, to help you work on your challenges and your problems and your opportunities and your goals, knowing that as they do that for you, you get to help them as well. It's a beautiful creative environment. And when you enroll in Thinking into Results, we give you the opportunity to join a mastermind group. I absolutely love masterminding, and I know that my clients love it as well. And we have this amazing secret Facebook group. So for the lifetime that you would like to stay involved with that, you have that forever. So even once you're finished the program, you will be in that forever. Now, a couple of questions. Some of you will be saying, but what if I don't get through it in the 24 weeks? We're very generous. So, you know, some people take 6 months, they do it straight, they get into it straight away. Other people take 28 weeks, 32 weeks. It's all experiential. So there's so much learning that goes into this as you go through. We're not going to kick you off the webinars after 6 months. We'll make sure you're looked after, and we'll really keep you on track and get you through it. So just wanted you to know that as well, because that's a common question. So look there's nearly $13,000 worth of material and support and coaching. It's absolutely phenomenal. But you know what? Right from the beginning, when I started to facilitate this material, I really wanted as many people as possible to be able to access this material, this way of thinking, because it is so profound and life-changing and really does get you results that stick. So we've really bundled all of this up, and it's a $5,000 investment in you. So you are worth that. There might be a part of your self-image at the moment that says you're not, or that says we've got to spend that on something else, or it's not the right time. Don't listen to it. The law of diminishing intent is a real thing. If you don't take action today, the self-image paradigm is going to get louder and louder the longer that you leave it. So if you have any desire at all to say yes to your yes decision, then I want you to go straight to the link on your screen, and I'm going to pop it straight up in the chat box now. And I want you to go to this link, karenbrook.myshopify.com, and you can invest in yourself right now and enroll and get started and join us today. You will never look back. Your life will be so rich and fulfilling in all dimensions, and it'll be single-handedly the best $5,000 you spend on anything. So think about it like this. We will spend money on ourselves to make ourselves more comfortable when we travel. We'll invest in a new car, a car that sometimes we probably don't even need. We'll spend money on all sorts of things, but this really is an investment in you. And it is such a phenomenal return on investment. Where you will be in 6 months' time is beyond the scope of your imagination at the moment. So if you're ready to say yes to your yes decision, then click on the link in the chat box and you can go straight to My Shopify, and you can enroll yourself straight away today. I want you to do just once what other people say you cannot do. And I promise you, you will never pay attention to their limitations again. Do this for you. Do it for you, and then everyone else around you benefits from it. So it's always the right time to invest in yourself. It's the only time I advocate putting things on a credit card or taking the money from somewhere else when you're investing in yourself, because you are your best return on investment. Now, look here. You are only limited by two things. One is your weakness of attention, and two, it's your poverty of imagination. So you've got to be able to see beyond where you want to go at the moment. So you've got to have the ability to see beyond that. We help you do that. The whole program, the whole system is designed to help you see in your imagination where it is that you want to go, and then hold that image, that new self-image of yourself with the sort of results that you want in your life, to hold it there for long enough so that those results start to show up. So this is not a quick fix program, system, experience, but this is something that's permanent, that will work for every person every time if you follow through, follow my lead, follow what Bob tells you to do, and you will have it for the rest of your life. You will have it for the rest of your life, and you will just use it over and over and over again. There is just so much in this designed to help you permanently and purposefully shift your self-image paradigm so you start to create the results that you really want. Now, if you're yet to say yes to your decision and you have a few questions that you want answered, then I welcome you to book in for a quick chat with me. So I'm going to pop this link now up in the chat box. So it's Q&A with Karen.youcanbook.me. So let's just put that there for you now. Now, if you feel like you've got a few questions that you just want answered before you move forward with your decision, then I would welcome you to catch up with me this afternoon. I've made this afternoon available, only this afternoon, so you can ask a few questions and we can move you forward. Now, I just want to remind you that really these Q&A sessions are for people who want to grow, who are in a position to be able to move forward on their decision. So you can click that link, have a read through what I've written there, and if you've got some questions, let me know, and we'll catch up this afternoon and we can run through those and we can get you going. We can get you moving in a direction that's really going to guarantee you get the sort of results that you want in your life. So I want to thank you so much for coming on this call with me today. It's been such a pleasure to share this information on self-image with you. Shifting my self-image has been the cornerstone to getting the results that I want in my life. Sandy Gallagher shifting her self-image was the reason why we even have this phenomenal system and material in existence today, because she could see herself creating this program with Bob Proctor and having it in homes and businesses right around the world. So what is it that you really want? How is it that you really want to live? And know that you can shift and build a very powerful self-image that will make sure, like the GPS in a private jet, that you are setting straight on course to the destination that you want. Thank you so much for coming on the line. I'm so looking forward to having so many of you in our program, in our community. We really are changing the world one person at a time with this material. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Karen Brook, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon.